I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rakah Kwadash. Double honors unto our apostle elders that rule Great Millstone Wow. And Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, Wa Abba Babal. All right, so this was on Facebook. I have online business outside of, putting the truth up online. You could, share information that is legit for either making money or the truth, you know what I'm saying, through different platforms. And you got to get that information from different locations. So I don't ever put my personal information, all right, on this platform or any other platform, really. But I have this for gathering information, all right, just like it says in Obadiah, which Facebook was a weapon formed against the Israelites to collect information. But it says in Obadiah verse 6, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? So right here, this was a weapon against the Israelites, but no weapon formed against us shall prosper. So once again, I don't use this for personal information, any platform, right? I don't put my personal information on any platform. Just, I gather information from all these different platforms to feed the flock of the nation of Israel, all right? Using copyright material, whatever, right? Through the Copyright Act of Section 107 section pertaining to the copyright that I have, and edifying and teaching. And I'm teaching the Israelites, I'm edifying, I'm building them up that the Bible is still accurate, all right, in modern times. It's a prophecy, which some of the prophecy has been fulfilled, which is history. But now we're in a time of prophecy being fulfilled of the last days, all right? And the Lord said he would give the Egyptians a cruel lord. That's Isaiah 19, all right? And verse 4, and the Egyptians, which this is really talking about the Americans, will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, which is Nero 47, Donald Trump. All right. He's that cruel lord, a fierce king, which he's the king of Babylon. It says in Isaiah 14, verse 4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how had the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? So how is America going to come to its end? Yahweh had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He gave them over to the cruel Lord. And what's it say in Isaiah 19? That the spirit of Egypt shall fail. Verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. So check this out. On this page, it's People's Unity Project. It says, do you think MAGA would kill which would be really murder, their fellow Americans if Trump told them to? And you can see it has 2.7 thousand likes, right? And then on the comments, right? Check out these comments. It says, Beverly Grease, it says, what do you think January 6th was about? Which he's paying them now. Those January 6ers, he's paying them, all right? Let me Google it. Right, here it is. It says, hundreds of individuals pardoned for their roles in January 6, 2021 Capitol riot are actively pursuing compensation through a controversial $1.776 billion Department of Justice fund. The fund is designed to compensate individuals who claim they were targeted by the government, which just shows they work for the government because the government is paying them, and it's through a fund. They're funding them. All right? It's that simple. All right? So, of course, if MAGA was given the order to start killing their neighbors, all right, they would do it. It says, Mendez, it says, the answer is obvious because it has already been answered, which she's talking about that January 6th, which they killed like 5 cops. They said like 4 of them just died from fear, and the other 2 was violence. It says, Kathy, it says, in a Jim Jones minute. See, and Jim Jones was a CIA agent, which he was poisoning so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians that would believe in his false doctrine. All right? Look, on Fifth Ave, which that goes back to what Nero 47 said. He said that he could murder someone and get away with it, which he's obviously already doing. All right? Let's see. Let's go down a little bit. Look, Nancy, haven't they already? I haven't seen not one go against it. It says, Daniel, yep, by a couple of friends, they're mega nuts. It says, Kathy, do bears poop in the woods? Of course they have, and would again. Henry, absolutely. Kyle, I think because they already have. The answer is yes. George, if he remembers to tell them to do it before they drink the Kool-Aid really themselves, because that's what's going to happen. All right, the wicked are going to fall into their own snare. All right, Alexander, no orders even. All he needed to do was give them permission, and they've already done it. See, and really, I've already was affected by the pride of the Edomite with Trump in place and him pushing pretty much racism, right? Which says that the so-called white race is better than any other race, which is a false doctrine. All right, that's why they need the gun. That's why they need sunblock. That's why they need society set up in a wicked state to protect them. All right, because they are not better than the Israelite. They're not better than any other nation. In fact, the Edomite is such a horrible people. Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai has it set up to where they're going to go extinct after they do 1,000 years of slavery. All right? So this shows you where it's leading, and it's going into a war, all right? And it's going to be a war focused against the Israelite. All right? That's why it says in Obadiah, it says, oh no, you know what? Let me get Psalm 83. Psalm 83, it says, and Psalms is a book of prophecy for the Israelites of the elect in this time. It says, Psalm 83 and 1, a song or psalm of Asaph, keep not thou silence, O Elohim. Elohim is talking to the elect. So they're trying to silence us, all right, but they're not going to be able to silence us, because who could lay any charge against the elect? Who could come against the elect? It says, hold not thy peace and be not still, O Elohim, so teach the truth. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head, which is the so-called white race. They're the serpent that was in the Garden of Eden that deceived Eve. All right? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. all right, against the Israelites, starting with the American Negro, which is the tribe of Judah. All right. They have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." See, so their intention is to try to erase us, the prophets of Israel, and murder us so that we don't prophesy no more. They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, which is the so-called white race, and the Ishmaelites, which is the Arabs, of Moab, the Hagarenes, which is another form of Arab, Gebal, which is a form of Esau that's in the land, the promised land, and Ammon, which are the Japanese, and Amalek, which are the small hats in the promised land. And it says the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, which are the Africans. Ashur, which is Assyria, also is joined with them. They have holpen the sons of Lot, the Chinese and the Japanese, because they're the ones that fund America. So they're making all these promises to the Japanese and the Chinese of prosperity, right? Just like in the Bible,